This is war! Hey, me and Matt here, and just finished watching Dynamite and coming out of Revolution. I mean, first of all, if you watched our play-by-play, you know what, this was probably one of the best pay-per-views in a long time. And I mean, this year is still fresh, and a lot of good pay-per-views in WWE, AEW, Impact. But AEW always delivers. And, you know, that's just the way it is. And I think you have that package from CM Punk post-match, and he's all bloody. He's talking about how he's gotta be getting dry blood off his head for a week and everything. And, you know, this was a good show all around. And, I mean, first you had Chris Jericho, you know, who had come out and he playing to the crowd, singing along with Judas, pointing to the crowd, doing this shit and all of that, and thinking he's a face. And so, you know, he's talking, saying he had a hell of a match with Eddie, and very cool. Like, this was a good speech, and he said, I didn't honor my whole thing where I was supposed to shake his hand and give him respect. So, you know, he calls Eddie Kingston out. Eddie Kingston comes out and he cuts his own speech, and he was pretty passionate about it. Like, it was, you know, I think he even broke down at one point. So they go to shake hands, and then 2.0 and Daniel Garcia hit the ring, and they attack Eddie and Chris, which prompts Santana and Ortiz to come out. And so there's this big fight, and then you have Ortiz with the bat, and he's fighting everyone off. And then he sees Jericho. He gives the bat to Jericho, and then this Ortiz picks up Garcia, and you think Chris is gonna hit Garcia, but then he goes and he hits Santana, and you know, that's when basically he turned heel. You have Jake Hager come out, and he says to Chris, what are you doing, what are you doing? Basically he's fighting with himself, and then he hits Ortiz. So basically it's a heel turn. You have now Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, and 2.0 with Daniel Garcia in this new group called the Jericho Appreciation Society, which in my opinion is a dumb name, but it's still like the Inner Circle. You have Judas, you still have them doing the salute. So that's fine, you know, whatever. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, it's fucking weird, and we'll see. I mean, and that's the thing, Jericho has always been that good at playing the crowd. You know, coming out thinking that he's still the hero, when in fact, obviously, he turned heel. Hope that he doesn't turn out to be the next Paul White, but whatever. It is what it is. We have Hangman Page versus Top Flight's Dante Martin. This match kind of cut out, so I didn't see most of it, but Paige ended up winning. Adam Cole came out, cut a speech. The one at Revolution was a fluke, and basically next week is going to be a 6-man tag team match, and he's going to pick his guys, which later in the show turned out to be Red Dragon. So Adam Page will pick his guys, which It's not going to be any of the members of the Dark Order, so I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. So that's going to be fun. You have a match with Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley versus the Workhorsemen, which was J.D. Drake and Anthony Henry. This was a good match too, and I mean, with William Regal coming out at Revolution and forming this new tag team, I think it's pretty fucking sick. Because, I mean, they take the best from Moxley and Bryan, and you go, alright, let's have these two because they've been around forever, so let's put them together. And yeah, this was a pretty good match, and then William Regal grabs the mic from Tony Schiavone, and they embrace for a bit, you know. William Regal gets emotional, saying, "You helped me when I needed help, and I appreciate it." Then he goes right back to talking about the new tag team of Danielson and Moxley, saying, "You know what? These guys are going to be one of the best, and you either step up or basically get stepped on." So I can't wait to see where they're going to go with this. I could see them as tag team champions at one point, but I mean, yeah, Bryan Danielson has been in a tag team, I think, well, yeah, he was in, obviously, Team Hell No and WWE along with the Nexus when they started, but then he got Jon Moxley with the Shield, so okay, you know, this can work obviously with William Regal at their side too. But then you have Pac with Penta, Kira, yeah, and then you have Alex Abrahams as the Druid or whatever. I don't even know what he's dressed up as anymore. Some black metal guy. He's weird anyways, but anyways, they took on Wheeler Yuta. Well, Pac did. And again, a very good match. Pac is one of the best. And of course, Wheeler Yuta was impressive too. Very athletic. You know, he went out of the ring. It looked like leaving out. And then he came back in. And yeah, basically did a crossbody on Pac. But Pac ended up winning the match in a brutalizer to Yuta. And yeah, there it is. So, excitement with FTR talking about their family. Then Tully Blanchard said this is about winning titles and not family. So somehow FTR fires Tully Blanchard. I'm not sure what's going to happen with him in the future, but we'll see. We have AHFO in the ring. Matt Hardy and Andrade are talking, and Matt's like, "We gotta make a vote. Either I'm in or I'm out. Thumbs up." Well, first it was thumbs down. You got Andrade, and the other guy, whatever his name was, put his thumb down. And then, of course, it goes thumbs up. Has his thumbs up. Private Party's behind him. They put their thumbs up. So when he turns around and talks to Andrade, they will eventually put their thumbs down. So Andrade's like, "Turn around." So then you got the Butcher, the Blade, Andrade, Private Party beating the shit out of Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy fights back. And then got Darby Allin and Sting coming out. And they help fight off Andrade and Private Party. And then they get their ass kicked. So they're fighting in the ring. And all of a sudden, you get the Hardy Boys WWE WWF theme music from the 90s. Now, it wasn't licensed by WWF This was like something, I don't even sure, I can't remember what song it was, but I've heard it from different TV shows and stuff like that. Same with the Hardcore Holly and Crash Harley theme song, so there's that. Jeff Hardy makes his AEW debut, which I think was awesome. And then he joins the fight, does a swanton bomb, and yeah, hits Blade with it. And then him and Matt hug. And then they stare down Sting and Darby Allin. And the music hits again. And so, yeah, Jeff Hardy is now all elite, which I think is pretty fucking cool. Then, Swerve Strickland made another interview. He's going to be on Rampage taking on Tony Nese. So that's going to be a good match. And I mean, they wrestled together. I don't know if they wrestled in NXT or not. They might have, I'm not sure. But I know they've been in the same company together in other organizations. So Wardlow cut a face promo and talked about his family and how he wants to become TNT champion. So that's pretty cool. You have Keith Lee having an interview telling off QT Marshall in the Tag Team Championship match. Jurassic Express defeated the Acclaimed, which again cut a good grab coming down the aisle. You have Gun Club in the crowd as well. But this was a good match too, and I mean, Jungle Express are always going to be very impressive, and hopefully they'll keep the titles for a bit longer. Like I said, Double or Nothing, we'll see what happens. You have, Layla Hirsch and Thunder Rosa in a match. This was pretty cool as well. And basically, yeah, the Thunder Rosa ended up winning. And then Tony Schiavone came out and said next week it's going to be Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa for the AEW Women's Championship again. And this time it'll be in a steel cage. So they've had some epic matches. And so we're going to see what happens. And I mean, yeah, the match at Revolution was so-so. But I think this one is going to be pretty cool. It's obviously not going to be good as the Lights Out match, but we'll see. You have the Spanish God Sammy Guevara versus Scorpio Sky. And you have American Top Team there, who's Dan Lambert and Ethan Page. So this was a good match. I mean, there's this one moment where Sammy Guevara does a 360 and lands on a table. Scorpio Sky gets off of the table, and you've got Ty Conti and Samson checking on him. So, they're helping him back, and, he decides to get back into the ring, finish the match, gets hurt again. Now this time you have Ty Conti in Sammy's corner, and she's cheering him on. Now this was surprising because Scorpio Sky did the TKO and pinned Sammy. And now you have a new TNT champion. So that's going to be interesting. We'll see what happens from there, but can we get rid of the fucking other belt? That's over with now. But again, another very good episode, a very surprising episode. A heel turn, a debut, a face turn, a very good show after Evolution. So anyways, yeah, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
So that them cutting WCW was a long time coming. But I think that there's this myth out there that Jamie Keller
Gnarly.
that's why he took pleasure in cutting WCW. I don't think that's the case at all. Because if you look at some of his earlier interviews, like